show you guys a different way to do your to-do list. Most of us have all started to-do lists, and most of us probably have not kept them up. So I'm going to try and change the way you look at to-do lists. It's not about what you need to do, but what is the outcome? Because most of us actually major in minor things. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guest. I watched a seminar from Tony Robbins, which some of you guys might know, the other day, and it's something I like to try and watch and start implementing into my daily life. And this is one of the things, I've done it for over a week now, and my last week was the most productive week I have ever had, hands down. And it's by simply doing this every day. So how many here have done to-do lists before? Yes, everybody? Okay. Who still does to-do lists? Okay, pretty good. The difference with most people, why they stop doing to-do lists, because they're like, okay, we got a lot of stuff to do in our lifetime, not just work, so we start writing down our to-do list, to-do list, to-do list. Why did anyone stop? Who doesn't do to-do lists now? Why'd you stop? Anything?
I wasn't doing anything on the to-do list.
Yeah, you write it all down, and you realize, I don't have enough time to do all this stuff. So then it feels good, you write it all down, then you realize, oh, I don't have time to do all this, you get stressed out again, and then you focus on, I don't have time to do this, and you don't do anything, because you're just focusing on how you don't have time. So I'm going to kind of change that up. So it is a good feeling to write stuff down, right? When you can do that, it keeps your RAM in your brain going, so that way, your brain can work a little bit better. If you're always focused on what to do next, it's just you have no free time to think. So bear with me for a second. From now on, you need to make a to-do list, and you write down every little thing you could ever possibly think of, and already realize you're not going to do most of it, okay? And this is why. So, you'll get up in the morning, start doing your list. I need to do this, and this. Oh yeah, I gotta do this, this. I probably do that after work. I do this, and this. Okay, so now you got all your stuff down, and you go, I have no time for this. The thing is, the human brain can only basically work on 5 to 9 things at once. So when you write down something that has 80 things on it, you're overwhelmed, your stress goes up, and your focus goes down. So now once you've made your to-do list, I want you to look at something. Try and basically figure out, what do you want out of all this? So you might go and say, okay, this, and this has to do with my business. This and this has to do with my house. This, and this has to do with my family. And this, and this has to do with me personally. Something I want to do. So now it seems a little bit easier, right? You got 4 different outcomes that you want to do. So you look at my business and be like, okay, I got to do this and this because what is my outcome? What do I want out of this? My outcome might be to get a promotion. And then you think to yourself, why do I want to do this? It's much different. When you have the to-do list, it's what do I need to do? I have to do it. Where this is, okay, what do I want? Let's say this is my business. What's my ultimate goal of this? Why do I want to do this? Now it's a little bit easier to think. You're working the opposite way. You might realize, okay, well, this and this is important, I can do this tomorrow. And then you can start sorting stuff out a little bit. So now we've captured our to-do list and what are the outcomes we focus on. And now we go back and, what's the purpose? Why am I here today? Why do I want to do this? Because emotions are tied into stuff that's really strong. If we're just going, and most people just do a to-do list, they go right off the top, work their way down. So sometimes stuff that's really important that's lower on the list doesn't get done. This way, we can now look at it out, put it in different sections, and then what I like to think about is, what is the 20% of these things that I can do that'll give me 80% of the result? And so instead of just numbering it 1 to 10 on importance level, I start with things that are must, like my must-do list. So once I know my must, then I can basically go and start to time out my day and put stuff into my day, how it works. And then realizing, okay, if my family who have asked me to wash the windows, cut the lawn, help them out, take my dad somewhere, all this kind of stuff, what's my outcome with that? My outcome is I want to please my parents. Okay, what do I have time to do today? Okay, well, Leafs game's on tonight, unfortunately, so I need to go and watch out with my dad. So tomorrow night, I'm going to go watch it with my dad and spend time with my mother, so my outcome's complete. I might not have to do this, and this, but I got the outcome I wanted. I wanted to please my parents. And when we change the language about how we say things, it also makes us want to do it more. So if you just have a to-do list and say, this is what I need to do, it sucks. It's more the fact that, what would you rather have? A nutritious meal or a delicious meal? Okay, I need to have a nutritious meal, but I would love to have a delicious meal. Now what if I said, I have a nutritious, delicious meal? You're more in, right? So it's kind of like the same fact as, hey, I want you to meet this person, they're really nice, or they're delicious. When you change the way you think about what you want and change the language, you're actually more likely to get up and go do this. So the last thing is, we have a whole bunch of stuff done. What we need to do is leverage. Leverage is different than delegation. Delegation is telling somebody to do something and then you get pissed off when what they do wasn't exactly what you wanted to do. So what leverage basically states is, I can move the biggest bull in the world if I have enough leverage and I do it with something. And with's the key word. It's not giving it to someone to do, it's working with them. So I could be like, Brian, okay, this is what I want to do, and you're not going to tell them what to do, you're going to worry back to the outcome. This is the outcome I want, this is why I want this, or this is why you want this. There may be a lot of things away, I don't care how you do it, this is how I would do it, but you know what, get it done. And if you need help, I'm right here, so come and ask me for it. See, do you see the difference in that than just delegating it to someone else? So this way we can actually increase all this different stuff that we may not want to do. Just because you don't want to do something, it usually means that you're either not good at it, you're not efficient at it, or you just don't like it. So leveraging to someone that might actually do like that kind of stuff, they're going to enjoy doing it and become more productive. So overall, what we want to do is change our mindsets again. We want to stop focusing on our daily to-do list because we know we're never going to complete it. We're going to capture everything that we can think that we can do, find the outcome, why we want to get to that outcome, and then we can look at what to do because it makes sense. And if we can do that to make sense, we're going to be more productive. And just as I had this last week alone, was hands down my most productive week with a whole bunch of other stuff that should easily slow me down. So I hope you guys can try this out sometime. Try it for a week. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
I'll get rid of this, it looks pretty again.
If we could have a minute on the clock for everybody to fill out their little evaluation form.
I should have done last one, 10 to 15 one. I was thinking of that.
For Dave.
Oh, okay. Need one.
And for Dave.
I don't need
Oh,
one.
okay. You got one for Dave?
Yep.
That's for Dave.
All right. Our second speaker tonight is Dave Macko. He's been a member of our club for almost 3 years and is currently our club president. He has earned his Competent Communicator and Competent Leadership Awards. This speech is the final task to achieve his Advanced Leader Bronze. Tonight's speech is from the Successful Club Series. This program highlights best practices for ToastMasters clubs and covers various aspects proven to grow a healthy, vibrant club. Dave's speech will focus on mentorship and the club mentoring program. Please help me welcome Dave Macko.
Look out! Push the clutch in. Stop! This is the discussion I had with my daughter over the weekend. She does not have her G1 yet. She's not officially licensed to drive, but she's most fearful of getting into a car that has a stick shift. And I decided, well, what a great way to try to get the fear out of her by learning her young, to let her know that she doesn't have to be scared to get in a car that has a stick shift transmission. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, you know who you are. My role in that car was that of a mentor. The information that I have from the book, the Toastmasters catalog, suggests that I should recite something from Sophocles in his Greek tragedy. But I'm not going to do that because I can't even say his name. So I thought I'd use a story a little bit more closer to home. So a mentor is somebody that takes interest and helps an inexperienced individual, or known as a mentee. They serve as a coach, a confidant, and a role model for that person. Insight, perspective, and wisdom is all something that a mentor would share with a mentee. And they help somebody learn new skills as well as learning new skills themselves while they're doing it. So who here has had a great mentor in one of their roles at work or in their life? I'm sure we probably all have. I know that when I jumped into the school board, there was such a great deal of information to know about what the role took in order to be an effective trustee that I relied very heavily on the counsel and direction of our director to kind of assist me in understanding very quickly and getting up to speed so I could be effective as in my role. And I think we all have similar stories. So in terms of Toastmasters, we have a program called mentoring. It's a formal program that we don't necessarily follow all of the formal protocol for, but I'd just like to review some of the things around the program. So the role of a mentor within our group is to help ease the transition of a newer member into our club. When you walk into a brand new environment, it's pretty challenging to not really know what to do or what to expect. A mentor can help ease that unforeseen obstacle of getting involved with a meeting. So in our group, we all are expected to assume roles as we are comfortable. We're all expected to give speeches out of different manuals. And somebody that's just walking into the room here wouldn't really necessarily know that, as Corinne probably is kidding. So the role of a mentor is to help assist members in achieving their goals and learning about the club protocol. It also helps to build their confidence, and the mentee will also develop new skills and relationships by doing that. The benefit to a mentor will remain productive in the club environment. So if a mentor has an active role in helping and encouraging a new person to come along with their development, that would encourage them to continue with their interest in the group. As well as for the mentee, the new individual that's newer to the club will have a keener interest in coming back week for week and volunteering for different roles if they feel confident in being able to do so. The benefit to the club is that if we have a positive and encouraging environment, that's a safe way to practice and learn to grow, that we have a chance of attracting new members. Word of mouth is the greatest form of advertising in most cases. And in order for us to have a critical mass of members, we need to have at least 8 members for a charter club, and a healthy club is considered to have at least 20 members. When you see the diversity of roles that are required to fill at different meetings, the more members means a simpler task for everybody and a more productive meeting. It will also help retain members and keep their interest. So qualities of a mentor. Number one, you have to be available. It takes commitment, of course. They suggest approximately 15 minutes per week should be commitment level. I don't know whether that's essential or not. It kind of depends on whether or not you have what type of relationship you have with your mentee. But you need to be available. You need to be patient as well, because patience is a virtue that we all know is difficult sometimes to come up with. as well as being sensitive and diplomatic and tactful, respectful, flexible, supportive, and knowledgeable. Of course, that doesn't all come at the same time. One of the most important ways of becoming a great communicator is to
Listen.
be a great listener. Another important role of a mentor. And you must have concern for others. So the steps of being a mentor. At the first meeting, you're assigned to a mentee. You should sit down with the member, explain the various parts of the meeting, what the different roles are, what the business session is about, table topics, and so on. And once a member has been assigned a mentor, the mentor should orient the new member to the policies and procedures of the club. Explain how to sign up for different roles at each meeting, and help, most importantly, with the very first speech, the icebreaker. The icebreaker, for your information, is the very first task in the Competent Communicator Manual. We'll get a little bit more involved in that later. And that's one that takes a long time for a lot of people to have the confidence and ability to deliver. But from a personal perspective, it's probably one of the easiest speeches to do. Although it's intimidating because you have to do it in front of a group of people that you barely know. It is one that's a story about yourself. Nobody else knows that story better than yourself. And once you get that one behind you, the rest of them kind of keep on building up until you have the confidence in being able to become rather ill-prepared for a speech and stand up here and deliver something, such as I'm trying to do now. So at the next meeting, the mentee should be made aware of the resources that we might have. We have a group of boxes that we have, and in those boxes are resources that are available to us. We have a terrific website that's available to us, and it's got all kinds of information to be able to search through. And I don't know whether or not our newer members have been made aware of the value of the website. So I'd like to make sure that we actively try to encourage you to do that. We need to explain our responsibilities. Membership requires more than just giving speeches and receiving feedback. It also means a commitment to helping other club members and helping your club. And you should be helping with speeches and other assignments as well. Over time, a mentor should be able to describe how they have benefited from being a mentor. Lots of times it's a personal growth experience as well. Not all of us were in a role where we have to coach or mentor other people. So it's a great opportunity for you to learn a new skill. The mentee could be invited to other events and should be acknowledged for their progress throughout the meeting. So a positive and encouraging environment is what we really try to show, particularly to our newer members and even to our older members. What are qualities of a mentee? A mentee should be eager to learn, be willing to take on new challenges, should be receptive and understand that all of the encouragement is for their own personal growth, should be open to new ideas, should be loyal, want to attend meetings, and should show perhaps a little bit of appreciation for a mentor's time. So the other thing that I want to make sure that we're clear on is that a mentor-mentee relationship is not necessarily for a new or an aspiring Toastmaster. It can also be for an experienced Toastmaster. So somebody that's been with a club for a number of years may be lacking in a particular area of skill sets that they want to develop. So for instance, Kathy is excellent at doing presentations. She has great mastery of being able to describe with resources what she's trying to get across. And I think that that's a skill that's difficult for some people to be able to harness. And so I would encourage people to refer to Kathy if they're a little concerned about giving a presentation, as an example. And other seasoned Toastmasters might have other lapses in their skill set that they could benefit from another member in our club. So our club does go beyond just the Toastmasters experience. We should be willing and able to help other members throughout their progression of their careers, throughout the progression of their volunteering in the community, and throughout whatever it is that they want to achieve from our club. So anybody that was willing to learn new leadership skills and communication skills can benefit from a mentor-mentee relationship. So as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this presentation, we don't have a necessarily structured mentorship program, but notwithstanding that, we would encourage everybody to make use of a mentor. And if you don't have one and would like to be part of that, let our leadership team know. And our leadership team is Mark, myself, Kathy, Brian, Al, and Frank currently. So let us know. We're trying to establish a healthy and strong club going forward. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dave. If we could have a minute on the clock for our evaluations.